Hi, Julie here, and today I'm going to talk about how to make a dry erase board. That's what this is. It's a dry erase board. I've got a cat on one side and the dry erase on the other. And I use duct tape around the perimeter for a frame. And I have this little slot here that I'm using for the actual dry erase marker. And I'm going to demonstrate how to make a little version to match this one that's going to be 4 by 6. This one's actually 8.5 by 11, and what I am using in here to make this slippery is some of this single-sided self-sealing laminating sheets. And it comes like this. It's got it's got a little tab at the top that you take off first. You lay down your cardstock on it, and then you take off the back. And that's what this slippery stuff is here. And it actually works pretty good. I have an older sharp dry erase marker. It tends to stay a little bit, but there is a way of getting it cleaned off. See, there's a tiny bit of red residue, but here's just a sample of how it works. And I'm using a normal glass cleaner, and I'm going to clean it off. Normally you don't have to do that, but my dry erase markers are really old, but it does come right off. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so I changed out my work surface so that I can work on my rotary mat with the ruler and cutter that I've got. And the first thing that we're actually going to do to make this dry erase board is we're going to make this little 2-inch loop here. And when we get it finished on the 4 by 6 one, it's actually going to be on the side because it actually looks better. And so let's get started on the little one. And what you're going to need is you're going to need duct tape. You're going to need some spray adhesive. You're going to need a little picture to put on the back, or a scrapbook piece of paper, all in one if you want to. This is to decorate just the back of it, and I'm going to glue this to this. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. You can use either glue stick, or you can use this Mega Runner Xyron thing. And I'm just going to go ahead and get that stuck on here. And I'm going to center it the best I can and set this aside until I'm ready with it later. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, actually I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue that onto my piece of cardboard. And this is just plain old corrugated cardboard cut down to 4 inches by 6 inches. If you're making the large one, it would be 8.5 by 11. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and spray this on. You want it to be the spray adhesive when you're gluing this on, so that way you get a smooth finish. So just go ahead and spray it. And of course you should be spraying in a well ventilated area because that stuff is awful. But anyway, go ahead and put that on. That takes care of the back. Okay, so the back is done. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the front. And basically what that is, it's cardstock. And I'm going to glue that onto this corrugated cardboard. Same thing, you spray it. Set that down in front of you. Go ahead and line up your cardstock. And I use 110-pound cardstock that is really, really bright white. And it works just fine for me. Okay, then smooth that down. And then if you were going to be using making the 8.5 by 11, what I use for that, and what I use for the large project, is this. It's self-seal laminating sheets that are single-sided. And it has a grid on the other side so you can line it up easily. But for this project, I'm using photo laminating sheets. They're actually pockets. And what you do here is you want the side that has the paper stuck on it, because that's the sticky side. And so you just want to go ahead and rip this apart, because you're not going to use that other piece. And you're going to trim off this little teeny tiny bit, so that way it's not in your way. So that's going to take just a moment here. Take that off. Okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the backing off. It'll take me just a moment. Okay, so I'm going to take the backing off, and that paper gets discarded, and we're going to place this carefully on the front here and smooth it down. Okay, get all the air bubbles out of it, and then flip it over and trim off any excess that you might have, which I do have a little bit. Okay, there's one. That one looks okay, but it's not quite there yet. I could feel it. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that. If I go a little fast, it's because I don't have much room on my camera today. I'm using a 2 gig SD card instead of my iFi card, since my iFi card died today and I lost a video that I was working on. Anyway, okay, so that's done. You can set this aside for now, and the next thing we work on is the duct tape portion of it. Okay, so what we're going to do is you're going to need a 2-inch piece for the center, and for the inside of it, and you're going to need 2 pieces that are 3 inches long. So an inch, that is 2 inches. I'm going to go start here, and I'm going to let's see, we need 2 that are 3 inches and 1 that is 2, so that's a total of 8. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out 8 inches. Okay, and right now we're at 19. We need to be 8 inches long. Okay, 19 to 9 is 10 inches. We don't need it to be 10 inches. We only need it to be 8, but I'm going to go ahead and do it in the easier way for me to figure it out is just to go ahead and cut it at the 2 inches. Two inches there, and then 2 pieces that are 3 inches. Okay, there's 3 inches, and then another one that is 3 inches. Okay. Then what you're going to do with this is you're going to take you're going to take the center 3-inch piece, and you're going to overlap it by 1 inch with the other one, the other 3-inch piece. Okay, then you're going to go ahead and cut off the corners, the 1/4 inches, and you're going to need an X-Acto knife for that, but I'm going to go ahead and use this very carefully. You're just going to cut off a 1/2 inch and do that all the way around. You'd probably be better off with a box cutter or a craft knife doing this, but I've been using a rotary cutter for many, many years and gotten used to it. Okay, so once you have all 4 corners taken out, you're going to turn this whole thing over, and I'll show you what you're going to do next. Just throw these little teeny tiny square pieces away. They're no good. Okay, so you're going to pull this whole thing up, turn it over, and you're going to put this 2-inch piece in the center of it, corner to corners, right in the center. Basically what this is, it's the inside of the little pouch thing, and you're going to fold these sides over to the center. Well, not to the center, but just fold them over right where it meets the inside piece. And then, so these are the sides, this is where the pen goes, and then you're going to fold this over in half. and let them stick together. And go ahead, put your marker inside and secure it down. And you're going to set this aside for now. Okay, so we've assembled our front and back, and the next step is we got to prepare these to take on the holder on each side. And the way we're going to do that is these are actually going to be like this, and this is going to be sandwiched inside just like that. And I actually made another little one just so you can see what we're going for. We're going for this. And I have it sandwiched on the side, and I have a different cat on the back. So that's what we're working on. So the next step is we're going to get one long piece that is 6 inches long of the duct tape, and we're going to slice it down in half, down the lengthwise. If we were working on the big one, then we would keep them at the full 2 inches and fold it over so that there's an inch on each side. But since we're doing the little ones, we need to cut it in half. So we're going to cut it at 6 inches. Easy way to figure that out is just to do this. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move this so I have easier access to cut it in half. And this time I'm going to use my ruler. And my ruler has measurements on it, so I'm able to actually line this up where I need to by using the ruler and slice it. Okay. Okay, and the reason why we're doing it this way is we want to make sure that we get a finished edge before we put on our holder. And you want most of it, you know, on the back side. Just make sure there's like a 1/4 of an inch on the front and bring it over to the back. And you're going to do that with both sides. With this back one, again, you're going to be careful. You got to make sure that you get the correct side. Have both of them face you. This is the side that we're taping. Okay, again, 1/4 inch or less. And fold this to the inside. Okay, so we're doing this so that this edge is a finished edge with the holder in between. So that way it'll look finished right here. Okay, so the next step is we're going to go ahead and put glue on this side and on this side, because we're going to actually install this. Let's make sure that we have this where we need it to be. Yeah. Okay, there we go. We got it oriented correctly. Okay. Move this out of the way. And what I'm going to do now is we're going to put some of this stuff all over it. Oh, open it up. That might help. And it helps to do this also, because you want it to stay in place. And if you want to, you can spritz a little bit of the glue on it, just a little bit. Clean up. What you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and put these together. You're going to center it as best you can. And you're going to go ahead and put a little bit of the glue on top of this, just a little bit for extra security. And then you're going to lift this up and move it over and line it up the best way you can. And pull the pen out. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and finish putting the duct tape around the perimeter. Okay, so we're going to start here, and we need 2 pieces that are 2 inches long. And that got messed up. Okay, pull that aside. Okay, 2 pieces that are 2 inches long. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, 2 pieces. It's going to take me just a moment here. Got it. Okay, there's 2. Actually, with this one, I'm going to work with 1-inch pieces. So you just need a piece that's 2 inches long, and you're going to need 2 pieces, 1 piece that's 4 inches long, and you're going to need a piece that's 6 inches long. Okay, so I got my 2 inches. And I'm going to cut that in half lengthwise. And this time you're going to center it on top of this the best you can. Okay, so that's that side. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. And if you need to trim that up, you just need to grab a pair of scissors. It'll take me just... Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut the 4-inch pieces. And again, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut it in half lengthwise. And again, you're going to go ahead and you're going to center it the best you can. Try to get it actually lined up correctly. And push it down to the back, down to the front, just like that. Okay, then we're going to do the same thing with this piece. And if you didn't get that trimmed off, just fold it down. It'll be all right. Line that up best you can. Center it. Push it down the front and down the back. So that way we got that. Okay, and then you're going to need one more piece here that is 6 inches long. And if you're worried about this jagged edge, don't worry, we'll fix that with this piece. So we're going to need it to be 6 inches. Okay, 6 inches long. And we're done with the duct tape, believe it or not. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut this piece in half. And we want this side to go over here. And again, you're going to center it on the top. Like I said earlier, if you're going to be making the big one, you actually want the full 2-inch wide so that you can have a 1-inch frame. But with this being so small, then you can just do it this way and cut each strip in half. Now, we've got a 1/2-inch piece here, and we've got this kind of weird jagged thing going. And so we're going to need to cover that up just to give it a smooth look. So I am going to go ahead and cut this in half. Well, actually, just eyeballing it, I'm going to about cut it in half. And this is going to go right here. just like this, and try to make it as close to the edge or close to this edge as possible. Look at that. That gives it a nice clean finish. And turn that over and do the same thing with this side. Okay. And that, my dear friends, this is done. And just put your marker in here, and you can write on this side all you want. And I have a matching set with the big one. The cat's not exactly the same. The cat's the same on this one, but we've got a better one right here. And that's it. We're all set. I wanted to thank you for watching, and if you like what you see and you want to see more of my videos, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and go ahead and leave comments and questions below the description. And the description is going to have the materials list that you're going to need to make the big one and the small one. And there won't be a separate project sheet, but the instructions will be in the description. Okay, thanks again, and have a great day. Goodbye.